Hello, everyone, and most welcome to 1944 of the Age series. This decisive war year, I'd say, was when the Allies finally got a complete upper hand, both on the West Front and on the East Front. Everything was looking rather grim for the Axis powers. And the Allies made their invasion of Normandy, invasion of Festung Europa. Something to be remembered, and also quantum mechanically in the Manhattan Project, Oppenheimer et al. Were beginning to construct what was too immense in the air as the atomic bomb. Bomb. We will continue the rather short one, me standing out in the cold, which I actually quite liked in 1943. Short one, so this would be a B1. St. John's Apothecary. Difference, textuality, and the advent of meaning. Robert M. Price. We did actually have the first of Advent this Sunday. So if you haven't lit your first light, it's time to do it. It was incredibly interesting to be such a short story. We went into this incredibly interesting treat of Western thinking to be fixated on the now. Jacques Derrida calls it the metaphysics of presence, or logocentrism, the idea that my presence in space and time is of utmost importance for understanding. Otherwise, meaning will not be transferred. It will be eternally deferred, not present. Unpresent meaning. I ask you, dear listener, can anything be worse than meaning not even be here with me? My words, either written down or recorded, will be like lost children, orphans, or to follow the disseminative ideas in dissemination, they will be like unfertilized eggs, doomed. Complete doom will be if we are not absolutely present with our meaning. Meaning cannot be deferred. And here, as I said, Wittgenstein and Derrida are oddly at very, very similar. They are, so to speak, entrenched in the same trench to make a sort of war parable. Metaphysics of presence says, oh, there can be no meaning without intention being there, the inner black box of intention, or the beetle box, der Käfer in the Schachtel. Wittgenstein shows by description, not argumentation or criticism, that meaning is in the doing, and the stage setting and the past is the doing, and also the future. So it's a misunderstanding in the eyes of Wittgenstein Derrida says it's a fixation or a stiffness in reality, or stiffness in ourselves. We are not absolutely balanced. From an Asiatic perspective, no understanding can be if you're not balanced. You're slouched, your body's tired, so-called body, your soul is tired. Unbalanced understanding do not exist. Most of Western learning today is based on fear. The fear of being wrong, which is the worst fear we can have. I didn't hear it from the good fellows I was standing next to before. They were of the sect Jehovah's Witnesses, but they are fixated on truth. Have you seen The Truth? I think it was called Pravda with a W in Polish. I'm not sure. Fixation, stiffness, two sharp borders, and completely possessed by something transcendental, way beyond meaning or doing, I would say. When I studied linguistics, I heard, without any explanation, connected to every word, there is an intention, a meaning. I think there was no child there who raised his hand and said, why? The emperor is naked. Why? Where is this meaning? Where is it hiding? Why? Pray tell, it's in the black box, in the scarab, inside of the insidedness of the insided origin of the human mind, or outside in the things. If you prefer that, if you're behaviorist or reductionist. It is in the object. Yes, if you don't trust me, if you want to find the meaning of something, look at the object. Look at the flower. Use a pair of scissors and knife and look into it. You will find the meaning somewhere inside. These things are taken up here by Thoth and his fellow Ammon. And I will continue to read when we are in the fable of Thoth and Ammon and the invention of writing. The speaker, and this is on this, you see the speaker, where I am, 107, paragraph, which paragraph? Third paragraph. The speaker is the father of the word, and the spoken word is like the elder son in the parable of the prodigal. It stays close to home and obeys its father's behests, working under his watchful eye. Eye. The written word, the written text, on the other hand, is like the younger son who strays from home, escaping the supervision of his father, that is, of its writer. With writing, there is more of a danger that meaning will get lost. Will be harder to find. Will be deferred. Where did it go? Where did my meaning go? I hid it well within my black box. And it's only for me to read. Only if you're present in my private reading can you possibly get some. Oh. Yes, well worth repeating. The written word, the written text, on the other hand, is like a younger son who strays far from home, escaping the supervision of his father. That is of its writer. Writer! With writing, there's more danger that meaning will get lost, will be harder to find, will be deferred. Deferred. Defoe. Robinson Crusoe. What happened to meaning? Is it gone? One may take longer finding the center of the maze. Worse yet, one may never get there and instead imagine that some cul-de-sac is the center. Center. Derrida says that Plato is perfectly correct about writing. What Plato failed to realize, though, was that speech is no better the same ambiguity, if it in writing, already exists in speech, since it's inherent in language as such. Oh, no, no, please stay. Go back. Can you go back a bit? Yeah. Where we were. Please don't move until we've passed these 6 or 7 lines. The kind of comparison Plato makes between writing and speech would really only make sense if he were instead comparing language on the one hand whether written or spoken, and telepathy on the other. Only immediate, unmediated awareness of the speaker's intent without the obscuring medium of language could prevent misunderstanding. Or could it? Let's move. Could it or could it? Do I even understand what I am saying? Really? Really? Or really? Freud would have little difficulty in showing that I am at best a poor listener to my own internal speech, to the clues of my subconscious, wherever that is. Subconscious. The origin of meaning in my subconscious. Indeed. the The problem with language is that it is a forest path with many winding branches, and it is easy to get lost. Thus, the ciphers and puzzles of every written text, and even those that on the surface seem easier to understand than the book of Revelation. Language leadeth astray. At least it leads us a merry chase, the meaning an ever receding will o' the wisp. Will o' the wisp.
Wisp.
Wisp. Will o' the wisp. Derrida noted that Plato had to employ writing even to make his complaint against it. What? What? And that even his apparently clear polemic against it is inevitably vitiated by the very ambiguity he seeks to exercise. 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 The best proof of his complaint is the drift of meaning in his own essay. The fact, for instance, that the very same word, pharmakon, can mean both poison and remedy. Remedy. Poison, poisson, boisson. A related word, pharmakos, can mean either poisoner or scapegoat, or pharmakos. And Derrida says Plato is making a scapegoat of writing, making it bear the coarse curse of the ambiguity of language, so that you will banish writing and then go on blithely relying on spoken language, forgetting that it is the heir to the same infirmities. Infirmities! Oh no! I am taken by infirmities. Oh no! Certainly, he does not mean to admit this. No. But the words he uses speaks for themselves. Themselves. They are to be read, and for us to decipher whatever he may have meant by them, whatever. The text speaks for itself. No authority, not even the author, can be allowed to control the meaning of the text. Such is the nature of a text. Of a text.
Nature.
Of a text. Welcome, Lydia. I'm startled to find some of the very same moves being made in the text of the Apocalypse. Apocalypse. John, like Plato, means to denigrate writing, even though to do it he must write. Right. Right. He means to exalt speech, the living word of God, who appears at the climax to banish the forces of textual chaos. Textual chaos.
Textual chaos.
Textual chaos.
Ouch, ouch.
Yeah. Then I saw the heaven open, and behold, a white horse.
Yeehaw.
Yee-ho! He who sat upon it is called faithful and true. And true. And in righteousness he judges and makes war. And he has a name inscribed which no one knows but himself. Himself. And the name by which he is called is the word of God. From his mouth issues a sharp sword with which to smite the nations, and he will rule them with a rod of iron. He will tread the winepress of the fury of the wrath of God, the Almighty. When the living word appears at the finale, it is as if he has come as the spoken word incarnate to banish the evil of written textuality itself. He appears in order to defeat and bring to an end the very book in which he appears.
Appears.
John pretends that his apocalypse is simply a transcription of what certain heavenly voices said to him and what he saw with his own eyes. His own eyes. In other words, his text, he wants us to believe, is the thinnest of tissues. His unveiling, which is what revelation means, is itself a veil, a revelation, but a transparent one. He says, or rather writes. I think this could be as good a stopping point as anyone. We end with rights, which is rather befitting for where we are.
Rights.
Rights. Do remember, rights.
Rights.
Right.
108.
108. And it's close to 9 o'clock. It's 20:30. So our language, the spoken language, is, I'm afraid, almost as close to writing when it comes to misunderstanding and misnoming the thing. It is as accessible to ambiguities as writing. Why this need of Plato, or is respectable Socrates of trying to keep meaning on hold, keep meaning at present? Of course, we think this is rather unusual now while reading Derrida, but I would say 99.99% of people are fixated with this presence idea. It's constantly there. And Derrida, rightly in the voice of Price here, show that the origin of the origin, the insideness, the clearness of the intention, all linguistics was based on that when I read it. We had to accept intention. Nobody could tell, it was so incredible. No one could tell us where it was or what it was and how it worked. And before all, this incredibly, and remember now, this incredible connection between intention and extension, sign and signified, was never spoken of. And this is why Wittgenstein is so important here. Without him, it cannot be done. Then we learn it is use, it's the deed, it's the cry, as we mentioned in the previous Wittgenstein article. It is what you do that gives criterion to the word. In a way, oddly enough, and I will possibly get some criticism from some people, but without crying out, there's no pain. I don't include the cases where people stop crying out when they have pain. That's another thing. But a child who does not cry out in pain doesn't have pain. If it later disappears or gets under control, it's a completely different thing. So Plato is barking up the wrong tree. He's looking for meaning in the black box, in the beetle box. Without quantum physics, without Wittgenstein, that cannot be revealed. Then we're standing in front of the mystery. And we have no choice but the logocentrism of the core of the origin. The inner of the innerness. Where is it? In the guts. Descartes said that the absolute innerness must be in the pineal gland. And that's where you find the connection between two absolutely disjunct worlds. One world being the corporal, the other one being the spiritual one. So Plato, of course, is not alone, but he has a very nice picture of the whole thing. It becomes incredibly vivid with Plato, of course. Alive. But use the illustration, think of meaning as being grafted into the sense. Think of meaning being connected both back and forth with the sign. That connectedness is the doing. It takes time and space to go from one point to the other. And all of a sudden you have a connection. People will be horribly angered. They will say, but hello, Hans, that takes time and space. Meaning should be immediate. Well, if meaning is immediate, there is no connecting tissue. It's like having a dog without a leash who will escape. The leash is the doing. What Plato constructs is an impossible leash. He never speaks of it. It's very close to Newton, who never mentioned time. He enforced it in the preface of his book, but he couldn't go back to it. He could most definitely never explain what time was or what the connection was between time and happiness. Well, we know our Derrida. Hard to get a quote here. Well, it's a mentioning of Freud. Freud is one of those who makes the marvelous misunderstanding. Page 107, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's falling into the same lead as Plato and all others. There's an internal speech. It's the subconscious. This is the origin. And in his invented new science, psychology, it did exist already by William James. But it's an idea of an innerness, a subconscious or a consciousness that originates everything. Without any doing, without any criterion or anything. It's thus there and it starts the things. And it's for the psychoanalyst or psychotherapeutic advisor to show what did you really have in your black beetle box. Kalle, over to you. Say something invigorating.
Thank you. I will do some publicity for my old paper that I discussed the same issue. It was published in this volume by Shikolella company. And let me show you. So this is it was a study of the painter Correggio, 16th century Italian painter. Yeah. I will not go through this whole issue. I will show the beautiful painting and then jump to the read up by people. Let me see. So this painting is at the Hermitage in Russia. Let me see. It will soon show up. And there is actually a let me see. Where is the painting? Pharmacon. There is the magic word pharmacon. This is not included in Correggio's painting. Let me find the painting first, so you can admire it. Let me see. It's to come here at the end. Yes, here is this. This is actually even more important than Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, because this is a bigger painting. It's of greater dimensions, and it has also refined inscriptions in Greek, Nepenthes, which means without sorrow, and this shows the beautiful Helen of Troy or of Sparta, and it's a quotation from Homer. But there is one word that Correggio did not include from that line for Correggio. So Helen is there, so to say, bringing forgetfulness, like alcohol, to the listener or to the viewer of the painting. And so imagine that you have people who are feeling sorry or they're sad, and then Helen gives you a magic drug or alcohol, and they will forget their sorrows.
Well, I forget when I drink. And that's called epilethon.
Epilethon, it means brings forgetfulness.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a line from Homer. Let me see. And where is the Derrida thing? Let me see.
Well, let us produce a wine called Epilifon. Wouldn't that be
Yes. It's very appropriate. Bring forgetfulness. It's a Homeric word.
Let's make it a musty Pinot Noir wine. Epilifon. I think my bet, or there's already somebody producing a wine called Epilifon. What do you think?
Yes. Yes, let me take this. This is not including courageous pain, this word pharmacon. It means both poison and medicine. And this ambiguity is also in the English word drug. And then I use Derrida here, Phaedrus, like so Helen too, that is the sitter, is also a scapegoat actually. Being guilty of having caused the Trojan War.
Yes.
So I'm playing here with Derrida and the ambiguity of pharmacon. And pharmacon also means something that it actually means also paint. So it works on very many levels. Socrates' medicine is speech and the dialectics. Helen's medicine is the painting itself, which helps the viewer forget his daily troubles. Blah 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 blah. This is no, I don't. I think. Let me see. There is one thing that I would like to mention here. One last thing. Albert Dürer. Let me see this. No, right. I found an example with the omitted answer at the Epilison because he did not want to allow an opening for any negative disease forgetful. He could only the words that offer positive ambiguities, acholos, not choleric, passicens, and soothing pile. And then, so Farmakov was like there in the background because it's mentioned in the is in the Homeric line there. But anyhow, so I had a discussion there, so to say, with same dialogue by Derrida.
Very interesting, indeed. Way to go.
So you could say much about this text, but I wonder if let me see this his so this price. He says that the living word is here, so to say, is vanishes the written word. But I wonder if that is really correct interpretation of that passage. So let me see Revelation 19 interlinear. Let me see. Because it actually speaks about transcribed. So the is inscribed. So if something is inscribed, it means it's actually written. So how can it banish the evil of written textuality itself if it's already inscribed? You understand?
Indeed, yeah.
So let me see the Greek. This is last time I could continue on, but don't worry. Let us see. It would be fun to see if price is correct. Let me see the word.
No, bad news. There is a wine. There is a wine called Epilifos, but it's not Pinot Noir. It's a Merlot.
We have to buy Epilethon as the drink.
Yeah,
But when we celebrate lecture number 2000.
Yeah, I remember you didn't like Merlot as well. I don't like Merlot.
But I will like it for the name.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
I'll order it. I'll order it if you like.
I prefer sweet alcohol, like pina colada. Ah, fresh pina colada.
This is definitely not sweet. So okay, I won't order it. Gegramenon. Gegramenon, yeah.
And so
Classic.
on his Thai, there is a name written, Basileon, Curious Curion.
Written.
Written. So he refers to, no, excuse, this is my paper. Let me see, where did it disappear? 11 to 15. Where do we have 11 to 15? Yes. Deep periplemos. There is written again. You see. Written. He had a name written. So this shows that Price is not correct. So how can he punish the evil of written textuality itself when he actually is when there is actually text written there already on Jesus?
Yeah.
Let us see verse 12. And his eyes were like a flame of fire, and on his head it had many crowns, having a name written. So there's no way that he will banish the written word, since he has already the written word himself on his, I don't know, it's difficult, it's a little bit ambiguous. Where the
why not? Yeah, sure.
So this is not correct. I don't think so.
Well, maybe it's better if it's not correct. He's not Derrida, so why it would be horrible if he were correct.
Mirja, do you want to say something?
Yes, Mirja. Cicadas. Mirja, do you want to come in?
No, perhaps he's sleeping.
Well, maybe we should end there.
Let's end there.
See if very interesting, and I say thank you for your comments. It was quite fun. I did like this. Nice to have Derrida, although we've gone through these many times again, but a little iteration is still good.
Absolutely.
It makes the potion, the pharmacon, taste even better. Poison or drug, I don't know, but it does the trick. Thank you very much, Kalle Lundahl. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. Have a beautiful day, nice morning or evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye for now.